Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our second entrepreneurship competition here at UNT. It's going to be a very exciting couple of days. I'm so happy that you all have made it to the final round, and I'd like to welcome our judges who have graciously come to join us. Angela Beeching, author of Beyond Talent and a wonderful expert in career development and entrepreneurship. She has come all the way from Boston to join us today. So we have also Debbie Brooks, who has joined us now for the second time. She was our judge last year. And of course, Mr. Stan Levinson, who's been a wonderful fixture of the competition, joining us for the second time as well this year. Today is about helping you gain the confidence that you may need at this stage and get that final boost in preparing your pitch. This is going to be hopefully a learning experience for you all that will allow you to discover perhaps something you didn't know about yourself when it comes to business and entrepreneurship. And you've been really immersed in your careers as musicians, and now is the time for you to discover that you can also be savvy business people, right? And learn about how to present yourself and introduce your business and get people to support you and to be encouraged by what you do and to communicate how you can make a difference. We're going to have 3 rooms. So today we're going to have in this room Angela with an undergraduate and a graduate team. And then in the other 2 rooms, we're going to have 1 judge with 2 teams as well. So why don't we just start? How about we do the undergrads first? Walk onto the front. Yay! Oops, there you go. There you go. Okay. So, okay. Great. Yeah. Now we can get the grads. Great. So now you know.
Cool.
Mystery is done.
That's right.
My aim here is to try to help you feel more yourself.
Okay.
When you're doing this.
Sure.
So, for all of you guys too, when I think about doing a presentation, there's this can be this feeling of I'm trying really hard. I got to remember to say all these things.
Yep.
And somehow we just sort of lose track that we're actually talking to people.
Yes.
So there's that moment when we put on our public face, and there's that moment when we actually step into being our real self.
Okay.
So that's what I'm going to ask you after we hear the pitch. How much of that was you being your real self, and how much of it was adrenaline and
Sure.
nervousness and all that?
Okay.
Yay.
Awesome. Appreciate that. Most students come in to drum set lessons with a fundamental love for music, whether that be for a certain genre or a certain band or even a certain song. Most of them have inspiration within them. But the goal of this book is to provide them with ways to tap into that inspiration and find out how they can use that best to portray the music. A lot of beginning drum set methods, such as the Alfred's drum set method, focus too much on small aspects of the playing, but not necessarily concepts of how to have fun when you're playing, or even just how to play exactly what the students are hearing in their head. Okay.
So a lot of times in the last 10 years when I've been working as a pianist, I've found that people feel like they're going on a blind date when they get set up with a pianist. But everyone has that anxiety that it's going to be a bad fit or there's going to be some nightmare story that comes from it. So CollabSource was created to fill this need as an online directory that connects musicians with high quality pianists. And then the second goal of the company is to educate pianists to become better partners. I was inspired by other online directory companies to create a model. As far as revenue, the model will be transaction based like Airbnb. You'll have a small fee transacted when you schedule to work with someone.
In some ways, it's like a booking agency.
Mm-hmm. It's the middleman for sure.
Yeah, the middleman, okay. Have you talked to pianists about this? Are they excited about this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have talked to pianists. It's funny because being a pianist, I'm excited about it, but I've actually found the most excited people that I've talked to have been singers about it because they're constantly traveling and needing new people to work with.
So that would be a natural growth expansion plan, when you've got the people here and then they move on. And they become based in New York or
Mm-hmm.
LA or whatever, and then there's going to be an immediate need there, and so that's where you're going to go next.
Right.
It's going to be driven by your clients.
The fact that people spread naturally anyway.
There's not enough space for the musicians to get the quality video and audio recordings they need at the University of North Texas. Recording studios. A lot of musicians sometimes want that isolation where drummers in one room, vocals in another room. We are now partners with Drive 35 Productions, so if a client wants that, we can go to Drive 35 Productions and isolate everyone in their own rooms. This is our team. I do audio and video of many recitals, sometimes 2 to 3 a week. Michael Schneider accompanies around 100 students a month. Cam Crivello is our video specialist. He does the same thing I do, where he does video and audio, but he mostly works with jazz musicians, so that's another clientele we can bring in. Spencer Liss is a video editor, works with Lone Star Wind Orchestra, and he teaches financial courses, which we will teach those courses at our campus. We have many friends and organizations that want to keep working with Drew Sutherland Productions as we expand into sus4 productions for the community. Thank you. So I felt more relaxed. There were some slides I'd need to either cut out or just have 1 or 2 words on them. Yeah.
And between now and tomorrow, can you videotape yourself doing this?
Yeah.
Good. And do it with a couple of friends, and you can ask them, is there a place where it seemed sagging or not? Was there anything that was unclear? So great to do it with some friends who haven't heard this before.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Good.
Cool,
So
thank you.
You're much more real, and I got a much better, feel for the whole thing.
Hello, I'm Matt Follison. I am the owner of Unique Studio Company, and I'm also the TA for the Music Entrepreneurship Program, a DMA candidate in voice here at UNT. As a performer, needed a place to perform and haven't been able to afford it? Or have you been a teacher and not been able to find affordable teaching space? That's one problem that I've encountered. Also, as a community member, people in general would say they have lacked a place to find community and experience arts and culture in their local community on a regular basis. Sure, there's things from time to time, but a consistent place that you can go to experience that sense of community and culture is lacking. If you fit into one of these categories, we have a place for you. What if there was an interactive venue you could come to and experience all the things that I just mentioned were lacking? So I want to spend the most time on this screen. This will really tell you how the business will function day to day. The impresario, which would be the franchise owner, will run a team of leasing agents to rent out the different departments, and also the marketing team. That's 4? Oh God. About halfway done. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get all that in, but you want me to keep going, or?
Concept's great. I believe, though, you're going to be very, very dependent on each of those directors to be profitable. And I believe you're going to have to participate and help them, even though that's their ball game. But collectively, that's your success.
Yeah. My plan was to do all the marketing and advertising for them, so they didn't have to spend their time on that. They could just focus on running their departments.
Sure.
But there's a ton more that I could go into,
Yeah, to manage them. I mean, they are responsible for sure. But to provide support and resource and your great experience, I think in itself, especially with 7, you're going to not have much time off, as I said.
Yeah, it's a big ordeal, if it was to come to
But I
life.
applaud the concept, and I believe that you're on to something. I just think the funding is going, without a track record, is going to be a major thought, but it was very nicely done.
Thanks. If I had about 15 minutes, it would have been perfect.
just going to wrap up the session now, and I hope that this has been a productive experience for you all and that you have a chance to incorporate all the feedback that you've been given. It's really helpful if you can add the origin of the story of where this business idea came from, right? Why are you even thinking about dealing with this business? Instead of going straight to talking about the business, take us through your journey and your story and where this came from. We said not to have any paper or anything in your hands during the presentation, but if you choose to have like a diagram and you want to like put it somewhere where it's not in your hands type of thing, to have like some sort of a visual design or drawing of some sort, you're welcome to do that. You don't have to, but it's just, you can use it to practice also, you know, not necessarily have it with you. So it's a way to summarize really the essence of your pitch. You have, you know, we highly encourage you not to memorize, you know, not to go reading and memorize it. So you may have designed a pitch, then you have an outline of the pitch, you make it even shorter than that, and then a diagram. As you describe the benefit of your pitch, you also want to include what's the larger impact of your business? What is going to happen as a result of what you're providing? And how you can tie that larger impact to the beginning problem you're describing. In other words, you're going to start, you know, you're going to give us some background story on your pitch. You're going to outline what the problem is, and then how can your ending section describe the larger impact of what your business is going to do and how that ties up to the beginning. Oh, videotape your pitch. That's really good. You've all probably had experience videotaping your performances. Same thing, this is a performance. So if you practice between today and tomorrow, videotaping your pitch is going to help you practice the timing, right? Because it's going to be very strict followed, you know, 4 minutes with 1 minute warning and that's it. So you can perhaps put a timer for yourself and videotape your pitch and practice it and record it and see how you do. And if you can understand it, if all your points are coming across clearly enough. Remember not to write too many words on the slides. And this is something that is one of the most important recommendations when it comes to doing PowerPoints. You want it to be more image driven. So watch for too many heavy text on the slides. If you want to come by later this afternoon and listen to the honorable mentions, they are going to be presenting their pitches and getting a little bit of feedback, and then one of them will be selected to move on to tomorrow's finals. I'd like to start by saying that I'm incredibly grateful to have this opportunity to lead this initiative at the College of Music. It's been just incredible to see how students have taken an idea, created a plan, and have turned that into something tangible and concrete. We've had about 11 student businesses launched in the last year and a half. The focus of this competition is to provide students with experiential learning opportunities. In addition to the amazing coursework and different opportunities they have as part of the academic program here at UNT, events like this, a competition, and things that they don't have to do but they can choose to enter and make that extra effort, are ways for them to learn by doing. And entrepreneurship, just like music, is best learned by doing. And thank you again for joining us, and I hope you have a great time, and good luck to all the competitors.
Hi, I want to thank everyone for coming. My name is Sarah Finkel, and I'll be presenting my pitch for Think Tank, which is actually a co-working space focused on the needs of musicians to help people have bountiful and fulfilling careers. 91% of all artists are completely undiscovered. Now this is a startling statistic, especially in a music school. So I polled people and I asked them, what are you most worried about when becoming a professional musician? And these are people of all walks of life, so educated, self-taught, all those things. And they said things like this: building momentum in a new place, finding your niche, socializing, maintaining an online presence, guaranteed monthly income, how many career paths, and then staying fed. And that upset me the most. You shouldn't have to worry about where your next meal is going to come from when you're dedicating yourself to your art. So Think Tank is the solution. Think Tank is a co-working space. So we will provide a sanctuary for musicians to distribute, discover, share, learn, and support one another. So what makes us different? Think Tank is run with the musician in mind. We'll be having bi-monthly artist spotlights. We'll be having local industry nights. We'll also be having, we'll be partnering with local venues to provide information to allow the people of our community to book at their venues, and we'll also be doing workshops. So I asked people what they wanted to know, because I want to provide people with what they need. Managing their finances, developing their brand, expanding their fan base, and other things of this nature. These are things that we want to provide, the other aspects other than musicianship. So in-house amenities, we would provide all of these things. Also, the main thing that I think is important is the community. Music is a community. So we will be providing that by having it be a natural networking space. You'll be working among people trying to achieve the same things that you are. So in the timeline, it will take us about 2.5 years to open the physical location. So that includes time for research and development and gaining funds and finding a space. Getting started, the total funding we'll need is $187,000, 354 cents, and it will come from all of these sources. And then I did some of the math, and it will take us 1 year and 3 months to break even. So in order to provide this sanctuary, we're looking for aid in the form of $30,000 investment and in exchange for 15% equity. So thank you so much for listening, caring, and just being here, supporting. Together we can help musicians thrive.
You mentioned Salt Lake City. Is that where you plan to start this?
No, that's just where I have like a lot of connections and where I was educating. I actually plan to do this in Nashville, Tennessee.
And what about your connections there?
I have a few connections there, people who have moved out there from here. So I plan to get in touch with those people, and then also I still plan to use my connections. I'm originally from New York, so I have friends in Manhattan that work for companies even beyond music, so like web design and things of that nature, and having them record themselves giving workshops and have that be another resource that we can provide at our site.
What kind of competition is there in Nashville? What other kind of support services are you going to be up against?
So there's another co-working space that's similar, but it's only focused on industry, and they're called Project Nashville. Their prices are a lot more expensive, and they're, again, like I said, for the industry, and we are marketing towards the musician.
Thank you for the presentation. I enjoyed it very much. So what kind of corporate entity do you expect to become or to launch as? An LLC, sole proprietorship, limited partnership, S-Corp? Have you thought about that yet?
Yes, so in the planning stages, it will be a sole proprietorship until we open the space, and then I plan to become an LLC.
Okay, we are out of time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Stephanie Hansen and I'm the owner and manager of Velvet Fog. We are a venue, tap room, and interactive business collective located in Minneapolis, Minnesota that supports local artists, collaborates with small businesses, and ultimately engages the greater Twin Cities community. Our facility consists of a main tap room area with a stage, a rehearsal space, and an event space. At Velvet Fog, our mission is to help artists thrive by simultaneously supporting their needs and also providing them a space to learn, to perform, and to connect. And one way we will be doing this is by partnering with like-minded arts organizations that will come in and give workshops to artists specifically on artistic topics and also entrepreneurial topics. And then we will also be asking the artists to give workshops to the public. So this is a community that would be artistic as well as general public. At Velvet Fog, there really is something for everyone. We feature a wide variety of artistic areas, including music, dance, art, theater, literature, and technology. For musicians specifically, they will have access to in-house sound equipment as well as a sound technician for shows, guaranteed compensation through a cover charge, access to a rehearsal space, and a space to sell merchandise and CDs during their shows. I have been to Minneapolis. I love this city. I know it's a perfect location to open Velvet Fog, and I'm very excited to see where this project can go. And furthermore, I believe in the total power that arts can have in society, and I'm very excited about this. So thank you very much.
Stephanie, running a club, as you know, requires a great deal of focus, including managing your personnel, buying inventory, and overall operations. How much of that will you be devoting your time to, in addition to recruiting and marketing your program?
Right, so I will be the manager, but I'll also have an administrative assistant or just an arts administrator in general. And we would be splitting those because that is, I know, a lot of work and probably something that I could not do on my own. So I would be delegating those tasks.
What's the differentiation then between what you want and what you're seeing already happening?
So we are the space. These organizations kind of don't have spaces. It's mostly just articles and online things. So these would be like, Velvet Fog would be the actual physical space where they could host these workshops.
Have you built into your costs any allowance for staffing, the cost of staffing?
Yes.
And do you have any rough idea of how many?
That would be in the business plan and not on this presentation, but I am including bartenders, servers, administrative assistant, and myself in that. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Ben Ehrlich, and I'm the author and creator of The Beginner's Guide to Drum Set. I've been a professional drummer and a drum set teacher for close to 10 years now. One thing that I've noticed, especially with beginning students, is that they tend to come to the table with an inspiration for music in one way or another. This can be in some type of music they're inspired by, or a song that they're really excited about. But when it comes to learning the nuts and bolts of playing the instrument, whether that be reading off of a traditional notation staff or learning technical skills, they often get really frustrated quickly and tend to give up because of all the hurdles they have to jump over just to play a single note on the instrument. This is why the mission of the Beginner's Guide to the Drum Set is to create a way for these students to tap into their potential without having the modern constraints of traditional guides. Sorry. There we go. Of course, the Beginner's Guide to the Drum Set isn't the first beginning drum set method, but a lot of the other drum set methods that are available today, such as Alfred's or the drum set crash course, are lacking in a lot of areas. So of course, not every student learns the same way. This is why the Beginner's Guide to the Drum Set will be presented in both a physical copy of the book as well as a series of high-quality videos. These different sources of media will serve to explain the same concept in different ways in order to maximize how much the student is able to learn and increase their fundamental understanding of the concept. So my plan is to print beta copies of the book and as well as beta versions of the videos and send them out to my fellow teachers and use them on my students. From there, I'll be collecting feedback on how they respond to the book and adjusting it to make it as efficient as possible while still maintaining a fun, inspiring learning environment. This is something that I've been thinking about for a very long time, and I know that now is the time to make it happen. So with your help, this project could become a reality. Thanks.
Did you think about print on demand instead of printing a full year supply of the book, just doing these as needed?
Yes, actually, I suppose I should have specified that, but With the amount of marketing that I had, I planned to sell about 100 copies per month and print per month, not actually per year. I just wanted to have a total yearly cost to present. But yes, the plan is to print by month and then adjust as needed.
Where did this genesis come from? I mean, you've been teaching for, you said, for 10 years. I mean, I've been a teacher a long time, and there are many teachers in this room, and we all know that the longer you teach, the more you learn. That 10 years as a teacher to me does not seem like a really long time unless you are an exceptionally gifted teacher, and you may very well be. But you have to convince other people that you are the greatest thing and that they need to buy this book. So they have every opportunity. And I'm just wondering how, like, have you worked with a group of students right now with all of these ideas, and you know that it works and it's the greatest thing ever? And what kind of, I forgot the name of it, where you just have that little cocoon where you try these ideas.
Teaser.
Incubator? Yeah. And I'm just, convince me that you are the greatest teacher of the drum set. And I have grandchildren, and I need to get your book for them.
Okay. Well, when I started teaching, I had about 3 students. When I started teaching at the School of Music that I currently work at, I had about 3 students. I still have those 3 students, and the amount of progress that they've made is just immeasurable. In addition, I have a completely full schedule there, and I have more students than any other drum set teacher at that studio. And
it's hard to brag on yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yes?
You mentioned that you would develop some short video content to go along with the book. Have you made any pilot videos at this point?
I haven't made any pilot videos at this point, no. I have made a few instructional materials that I currently use with my students, but nothing as comprehensive as the full guide yet.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Joanna Stahl, and I am the founder of CollabSource. And just this weekend, I was working with a student on a recital, and he told me backstage what a hard time he had finding a pianist to work with. And he said his professor just handed him a list of names and said, go call one, pick someone out. But he didn't want to do that because he didn't know any of them personally. He didn't have a recommendation. So he worked with me because we had done a project together before, and he knew me. But this illustrates the problem that I've found a lot with musicians, that finding a pianist feels like going on a blind date where a professor sets you up with a pianist and you meet at the first rehearsal. And it may go well and it may not go well, but you have to decide at that point if it's going to work. So CollabSource is an online directory service to match musicians with highly qualified pianists. And the secondary goal is to educate pianists to become better partners for those collaborations. And both goals are driven towards creating a culture of excellence for young students and young professionals. So if you think about the review aspects, the accountability of Airbnb, of Angie's List, and then you mix that with the Airbnb model of location and convenience, you get an idea of what musicians will see on CollabSource. They'll be able to use the location, the education, the specialty, and the rating system to find pianists to work with. So everyone needs a new way to connect with musicians. Thank you.
So I have a devil's advocate question for you, only because when a teacher or a mentor or a colleague gives you the name of, oh, I loved working with this person, I just feel like it's not the same thing as a Yelp review for something else.
Right.
So how can you help me get my head around this?
There's definitely an aspect to that. What I'm thinking about specifically is people who aren't as connected, Because personal recommendation is a huge aspect of the musician world. But for students and young professionals, they're often relocating, going to a new school or going to a new city, and they may not have those connections or recommendations. So it's really for that age group and market where everyone's in transition and they're needing to establish new relationships.
Tell me about the money. Okay, so I'm going to your app and I found a pianist. Okay, how do you get paid?
So the way that we make money is similar to Airbnb. It's a transaction fee. So when a musician goes and hires a pianist on the site, we take a little piece of that transaction as a percentage.
What is the piece?
8%.
Okay.
From the musicians. So to put it in dollar terms, if you go on there and you book a $50 rehearsal for, say, an hour for $50, the musician pays $54, and we take 4, which would be 8%.
Is the only rating coming from people who have hired the pianists?
The rating would be for people who work with the pianist.
And that's the only way that the ratings are happening? Because I know if I had to rate another musician, I would feel bad if I was like, oh, they kind of suck, but like, I'm going to give them 4 stars anyways because I don't want to come off as rude. You know
Well, it doesn't have to be like, it's not necessarily you. Like, you know, on Amazon, for example, you have a username. It's not like first name, last name. So it's the same kind of concept where you're reviewing, but it's not like they necessarily know your exact identity. The pianist would, but that's the point, is that you're keeping pianists accountable for the work that they do.
All right, let's get some music going. This is a music entrepreneurship competition after all, right? A little Dallas String Quartet. That's really not There we go. All right, so hi, I'm Matt Follison. I'm the owner and impresario of Unique Studio Company, and I have a background in business as a music teacher and also as an insurance and financial services franchise owner in California. I'm also a performer. I'm a baritone singer and an educator. One of the things I found along the way is that it's tough sometimes to pay commercial rents for business owners of any type. Not only that, but it's tough to generate enough revenue through marketing and sales efforts to meet the bottom line of any business. So what we're trying to do is not only help the artists in the community to mitigate that and create affordable space and market and advertise for them so they don't have to spend their time doing that, but we want a place for the community members to come and belong and feel like they have a place to come and experience these cultural activities together. So Unique Studio Company, our mantra is culturally connecting communities.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to ask you to turn off the music so that I can hear.
Is it too loud? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we can slower it.
I don't want to miss a word of what he said.
Should have done a sound check. Sorry about that.
I just need to hear you.
Good. So, I like music, obviously. And I love the Dallas String Quartet, too. Anyway, so we want to build a building. So Unique Studio Company is a hexagon-shaped building that we are going to build. And it's going to have 6 wings with a performance space in the middle. Also, we're going to have craft cuisine, craft beer, wine, and craft cuisine, craft food. We have physical training and yoga. We have a dance studio and dance training. We have a boutique, a fashion store, a retail store. We have an art gallery and an art education facility. We have a drama, comedy, film production, and tech department. And also, of course, the music department. Our mission is to connect artists with their local communities by providing a premier yet affordable venue with space to teach, perform, and sell their products. We connect community members with each other through the arts, fitness, fashion, and food. And that's time. We didn't get to go into the financials, but this is a whole other presentation in and of itself. You can see our startup costs, our financial statement. You can see our cash flow analysis and our break-even point. So we're asking for a $200,000 investment for 20% of the company so we can get this thing built, make this vision come to life, and we're going to culturally connect our communities. Thank you.
is there a model of a similar kind of collective that you've seen maybe in another part of the country that has been successful in this kind of format?
I haven't. I've seen a lot in the arts, but nothing that includes the fashion piece, the food, and the fitness in addition to the arts. And I think that's going to bring in people that may not be as interested in the arts, but could be.
What areas have you scoped out? Because some come to my mind, but I want to know what you've researched.
Well, I'm from San Diego area, and there's a perfect area, I think, in Temecula, which is Southern California wine country, and I lived there for 12 years. That's where I had my business, my insurance franchise, and my teaching studio, so I have a ton of connections in real estate, financial services, lenders, mortgage companies. So that would be my ideal location for the opening franchise, but the opportunities are endless. Yes?
This setup almost reminds me of kind of like a mall that, you know, also has a movie theater in it. Are you going to market it kind of similarly to that, or in a different way?
Yes, I see it exactly like that. It's an arts mall and a wellness mall, basically. So it's a real estate business, really is what it is, but it's specifically designed for arts, wellness, food, and fashion. So I could definitely see it being marketed that way and also attracting those sorts of people as well. Yes, sir.
So I'm trying to reconcile 8,000 square feet, Southern California, and $200,000. Help me figure that out.
Well, the $200,000 is for the down payment on the construction loan, basically.
Okay.
That's what we would need it for, and for some other startup costs.
This is one of the very first recordings I made of Basic Big Band. I just absolutely love doing this, and it just brought so much joy to my heart to do something like this. But out of the 4 years that I've been here at UNT as a doctoral student, I started to see an opportunity. Has anyone here had difficulties trying to build a rehearsal space, time to record, or a venue to have a recital? Yeah, exactly. Such4 Productions has a solution for you. We will be building a venue close to campus that will offer recitals, multiple camera live streaming, uninterrupted rehearsals, and ease of booking. We want to target new and upcoming students and professional ensembles that need to build their brand through logos, albums, demos, music videos, live streaming. We also want to live stream to professional performance arts organizations. We want to connect with the Denton musical community, and we want to provide professional quality recordings and recordings for college and job auditions. We will need about $50,000 to start this. This will help us purchase a grand piano and do renovations. We already have pretty much all the recording gear and the live streaming gear. As you can see here, I'm live streaming this event. We have many friends and organizations, such as the ones you see here, that we work with, and they continually want to work with us as we expand into Such4 Productions. Thank you very much.
Mr. Sutherland, good presentation.
Thank you.
How many square feet do you envision requiring?
We ideally want a little over 3,000, but the minimum we can go is 2,500.
And what have you budgeted for property rental?
Yes. There's a couple places we're looking at. There's one about 1.5 miles from the UNT campus. And we're trying to work with someone who's buying the Fine Arts Theater on the Denton Square.
But for the financial projections?
Yes. In the business plan, there's break-even charts, and it specifies how many we have.
The cost of rent.
Well, the cost of rent, sorry. I got confused.
That's all right.
It'd be about, for that venue on the square, the guy was telling us around $3,000 to $3,500, which is pretty cheap for that area.
Each month?
Each month.
A month.
3,500.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about the graphic design aspect of this in the video. Like, I'm wondering about the percentage of time it's going to be focused just on recording, audio recording versus other. What do you imagine your core stream of work is going to come from?
Well, we have different seasons here at UNT. So the first semester is audition seasons for like international, I'm a trombone player, so International Trombone Festival, International Trumpet Guild. So that's the season for one camera and stereo microphones so they can get to those auditions. Military band auditions tend to happen all year, but a lot of them tend to happen first semester. Second semester, people have recitals, and like definitely me, I make mistakes on recitals, and I would like to redo some of those pieces. And so we can have people coming in to do that, or just having their recital at our venue. And we will offer free one-camera live streaming to people who purchase our recital packages.
Given the success of this flagship Denton location, do you foresee opportunities for scouting out other possible locations that are in need of recital spaces?
Like other schools or other spaces?
It could be school-related, or it could be just any city in the United States that you see similar to Denton that is lacking in space.
Yeah. So I got my master's in Oklahoma State University, and it's a fairly small music school compared to UNT. I think there's, I want to say around 500 music students there, and there's about 1,510 this semester. And I had to have both my recitals there off campus. One of them was due to last-minute planning, which we all do. But yeah, in Cleveland, Cincinnati Institute, and there's a bunch of schools that have to have them off campus. And it's nothing wrong with UNT. It's just the way it is, and that's fine. There's so many students, and there's just a lack of space, and it's we just want to help out as much as we can.
Yeah. Great.
For the judges to go on and deliberate and review, and we're going to have our honorable mention really present.
Hi, as already stated, my name is Albert Harris, and I am here to present the Shed Light business plan to you guys. Now, with the show of hands, how many of y'all have listened to hip hop or have been affected by hip hop in some way, shape, or form? Well, that's not surprising at all, because hip-hop has become the most popular genre of music last year, being consumed at 24.5% in the United States, which is more than any other genre. And just recently, Kendrick Lamar has received the Pulitzer Prize, and he has become the first non-jazz or non-classical musician to get that award. Hip-hop is also dominating the top 100 billboards, and Cardi B just broke Beyonce's record for most simultaneous songs by a female artist on the top 100 Billboard with 13. The vision of this business is to capitalize on that by creating and promoting positive music and doing something different with it. In the process of doing this, we want to create and promote positive role models and change the role of hip-hop in society. So, hip-hop is normally viewed as misogynistic and vain and just an overall negative influence. Here at Shed Light, we want to change that and start a movement of positive things through our music, and branch out and create positive content for people. Plans for growth, like I said, it's through social media and streaming, so all of it is based on streaming services, Spotify, your Apple Music, Google Play, things of that nature, and merchandise. And now you may ask yourself, why us? Shed Light is an artist-first label that's only focused on creating and promoting positive music, which has the potential to fill a large gap in mainstream media. Thank you.
Questions from the audience?
Does that mean, like, you have a team of people? Are you going through and listening to everything? Who's making the decisions as to what music is going to be included? Right now, is it just you?
Right now, it is just me. I've worked with a couple artists, and I do music myself. And it's just constant themes of, overcoming adversity and just being different from the normal view of hip hop, whether it's not talking about being rude to women and spending a bunch of money on frivolous things.
Thank you. competition happens. We have 20 minutes for all the competitors to mingle with all of the audience members present in today's event. So you get the chance to talk to everyone, share your additional answers to any questions they may have, connect, communicate, advocate, and with their votes. And at 4:50, our voting will close. You can vote right from your phone by going to this link. But in the meantime, this is an opportunity for our competitors and our audience members to interact and get to know each other. So go have fun.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, nobody would have known.
Yeah.
I doubt. Yeah. So my car is the cheapest. And anyway, I would check the Velvet Frog idea.
Yeah, that was, I hadn't thought of that at all. I Googled it and
Literally rent a space where you've got access to people to answer the phone for you. And
Exactly. I'm thinking Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah. One more minute before our voting closes. Everyone joining us via Facebook. So be sure to follow this link and vote for your favorite team so he or she can win the Audience Choice Award. One more minute and voting will close. Okay. So we're going to give 5-minute feedback from the judges to each of the finalists. And we're just going to go in the same order that you all presented.
Hi, Sarah. I know that I had a concern that it was in Nashville because I know a little bit about the Nashville musicians, and I wasn't sure how well you knew this, like the rates for what they work and how your price point would fit in. Like, how many musicians would actually pay for this? So the place to connect is always good. But have you thoroughly investigated their needs? Again, we really think that your idea can fly. This is very important. What we would like for you to explore further is how familiar are you with running a nightclub?
Small things to make. I think you have a great opportunity as an authority to work with all of your potential audiences, band directors, educators, and build that reputation and encourage them to call you. And then, after you succeed in building that reputation, you have something to fulfill their needs with your book.
Okay.
Okay. In the plan, and maybe you've revised it since I read the latest version, but I can absolutely understand wanting to have hubs of this in other cities. But to really test it with the least cost for you so that you can really see how this is going to shake out. Because I have to say, I'm just worried about if it's mainly within the collaborative piano department at any school where they could see the use of this, but it's costing a few extra dollars for every single one of these. I'm worried you're not going to have the volume to make it fly. So that's why we're really curious to see you test this in a way that's inexpensive so that you can figure out the plan that'll work.
And there's research and development to do there to make sure that these are what the market will accept.
Yeah. Good.
To me, it seems clear that you have business experience and that you have contacts. A lot of it will depend on the right mix of your leasees. And that's where we kind of see this level of trust, or just, if they have what you want to collaborate with, that's going to be a lot with the success here.
We can all call Uber or Lyft, but it's important that you have a location that's conveniently
accessible.
Yeah.
this will be interesting to see.
I ask what kind of repeat business they anticipate. Having a customer is the key, of course, but once you accomplish and fulfill their needs, is it all over, or will they have continuing needs? That's another question to ask.
Okay, thank you. So our third prize, $1,000 award in the undergraduate track is Sarah Finkel from Think Tank. Thank you. Second prize, undergraduate, $2,500. Stephanie Hansen, Velvet Rock. $5,000 undergraduate grand prize, Ben Elrick, The Beginner's Guide to Drum Set. Our third prize, $1,000 winner is Matt Townsend, Studio. Our second prize, $2,500 winner in the graduate track is Joanna Stowe, the Lab Source. First prize winner is Drew Sutherland from Sussex. The Honorable Mention Award, the Albert Harris, so we're going to give him his Honorable Mention. Audience Choice Award sponsored by Lisa and Chuck Sarah from Sweetwater Inc. is Albert Harris. Congratulations to all the team members. This is such an inspiration. Thank you for participating. I hope this has been a fun experience. Thank you to our wonderful audience, both in person and through the live stream, for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you next year. Congratulations.